The Carolina Hurricanes just dropped 2 straight conference finals games at home, and somehow this already feels worse than the sweep in the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals to the same Florida Panthers. Getting outshot, outmuscled, and outplayed at home, they're being dismantled and destroyed by a Florida team who's taking their own game and cramming it down our throats. 0 goals in Game 2. 0-14, which is an NHL record in our last 14 conference finals games. Something is going to have to change. Let's talk about that. Remember what I said when I said I was starting to believe? Forget that. That was the worst 2-game stretch of hockey I have ever seen us play in the playoffs. That was the most demoralizing and awful 2-game homestand I have ever seen. That was worse than the Thanksgiving Day homestands, where you lost both games to Florida with Spencer Martin in net. Somehow, this is worse. Not only do you come out the series slow and lose 5-2 in Game 1, but then you follow that up 5-0 at home. Now you go to Florida down 2-0 in the series once again, just like in 2023, with even less of a prospect of winning this series, much less a game at this point. I'm sure, as all of us are aware, at this point the Carolina Hurricanes are 0-14 in their last 14 conference finals games. Let me put that into perspective. 14 chances to win a game. I don't even know what the percentage on that is, if it was quote 50-50. All you have to do is win one. You could go 20% in one of those series and you still win a game. So to start off with Game 1, this is your typical Carolina Hurricanes outshoot the opponent, but not quality-wise, and they lose. Shots in the first period, a 10-7 Carolina. Second period, 10-8 Carolina. Third period, 13-3 Carolina, for a grand total of 33-20 for Carolina, and we lose 5-2. Go figure. Yet again, outshooting our opponent by 13 shots and losing. What else is new? Start off the scoring in the first period at 8:30. Carter Verhaeghe on a power play goal that should not have been a power play because Aho got cross-checked in the back, took a retaliatory penalty, and they did not call the original. So that's lovely. What a start to the series. Carter Verhaeghe from Alexander Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. And then shortly thereafter at 12:29, Aaron Ekblad scores from Evan Rodriguez to make it 2-0. And off of a weird, I don't want to say kick because it was not a kick, but off a deflection off the skate, Sebastian Aho scores at 19:44, right before the period ends, to make it 2-1 Carolina from Seth Jarvis and Andrei Svechnikov. That gave you a bit of hope going into the second period, though. Okay, maybe we can mitigate the bleeding here and we can start doing better. Nope, not really, because immediately, 3 minutes and 33 seconds in the second period, AJ Greer scores from Nico Mikkola and Thomas Nosek and basically shuts down the game from there for Florida. Get to the third period, Sam Bennett scores a power play goal at 6:08 from Evan Rodriguez and Carter Verhaeghe. And then in the third period, after that at 14:55, Eetu Osterina scores from Thomas Nosek and Gustav Forsling to make it 5-1 Florida. And then the meaningless power play goal from Jackson Blake scored, and it was 5-2. Not a good game whatsoever. We were bad in special teams. We were bad in block shots. They were better than us. Ironically, we had way less penalty minutes than they did, but that's mostly because of a Marchand 10-minute game misconduct. Hits were up on both sides. Honestly, we did, like, pace-wise and play-wise outplay them, but this was an example of quality versus quantity, and quality definitely won this game. Moving on to Game 2. Now, this is not the story of quality versus quantity. This is just a story of good versus bad. Shots in this game were 5-3 Florida the first, 11-4 Florida in the second, 10-5 Carolina in the third, for a grand total of 21-17 Florida. And this is just not something you're used to seeing. You're not used to seeing the Carolina Hurricanes put up 17 shots in a game. When a team that averages 33 shots has all of their fans chanting "shoot," you've got a problem. That means that this team has lost its identity, which doesn't work anyways versus Florida, we've learned. I mean, the style that Florida's playing is literally just the way the Hurricanes want to play, but better. It's just a better version of us. So you've got to change something. Penalty kill was 0%. Power play was yet again 0%. Special teams are killing us this series. It's horrible. Florida had 56 hits in this game and dictated the pace the entire game, never giving anything up. Opening the scoring, Gustav Forsling in a minute 17, which would end up being your game-winning goal. Again, only a minute in from Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett. Shortly thereafter, in the first period, 11:41, Matthew Tkachuk scores from Carter Verhaeghe and Nico Mikkola. And then at 15:50, Sam Bennett scores on a power play goal from Carter Verhaeghe and Evan Rodriguez. Second period, Sam Bennett scores his second of the day at 19:21 from Carter Verhaeghe and Aaron Ekblad. Now, in the second period, I believe, the Canes had a goal. That was a bad turnover at the blue line, or so we thought, that went to Sebastian Aho, who hit 5-hole on Bobrovsky and broke the shutout. Until it wasn't, and the play was reviewed for offsides. Unfortunately, that would be the only goal we would score the entire day, and again, it didn't count. Well, going into the third at 13:49, Alexander Barkov scores from Aaron Ekblad and Evan Rodriguez to just make it even worse, make it 5-0 in a game that we would never, ever score in. Now we're going to take a look at the 3 stars of the game for both games. Game 1, I gave the first star to Sergei Bobrovsky because he truly was Florida's best player. 31 of 33 for a .939, doing the exact same thing he did a couple years ago to beat us in the conference finals and move to the Stanley Cup. Second off, I've got Carter Verhaeghe, who was noticeably visible outside of the 1 goal and the assist. Really good player. It seems to turn it on in playoff time when it matters most. And Thomas Nosek, with 2 assists, a +2, and winning 10 of 16 faceoffs, being the only player in Game 1 for Florida that had a really good faceoff percentage. Tough night for the Canes there, and it doesn't get any better with Game 2. Because in Game 2, the Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, and Carter Verhaeghe trio each had a +3 and bare minimum of 2 points. Sam Bennett scores 2 goals and an assist. Carter Verhaeghe, 3 assists with a +3, and Matthew Tkachuk, a goal and an assist, yet again, all for a +3. To end this off, I don't know what you can say here. I don't know. What are you going to do different? Nothing's changed. Nothing will get better. Nothing has gotten better. We have been resistant to change in this series the last 3 years. Florida has owned us. Y'all have got to do something different. You can't just dump and chase versus Florida. They're better at this than you are. Please, take the puck into the zone and shoot it off the rush. Try something different. Get your penalty kill in order. Maybe give Kochetkov a game. And I know he's very young, and I'm not opposed to this guy playing, just not right now. But please, please take Scott Morrow out of the lineup. He's getting bullied around here. He was a -3 in Game 1, should have been -4 if being in the penalty box counts, and clearly just needs a little more time to develop in the AHL. Scott Morrow will be an NHL piece to this lineup in a couple years. But right now, you need to focus on the playoffs and winning currently, and that is not going to happen if you have a third-pair defenseman who is not NHL caliber yet. Figure out the lineups. Keep Jankowski in. He was one of the better players last night in that 5-0 loss. Scratch that. You need players that are going to step up. Maybe shake the lineups around a little bit. If you need to, play 13 forwards and 5 defensemen. Figure out something. Hopefully Chatfield comes back soon, and hopefully we can win a game in this series to break this curse. If we fall to 0-16 in the conference finals in the last 4 attempts, things are going to be really, really rough in Raleigh, and things are going to have to change. Hope you guys enjoyed me ranting about this, and if you're a Florida fan, I'm sure you really enjoyed this. Make sure to leave a comment down below letting us know what we should do different. What do you think should be different? I really don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, stay crazy, guys, and peace out.